Hello, let me just quickly chime in on Canto 1 of Orlando Furioso by Ludvico Aristo. Yes, hallelujah. The after spending the money on the translation, which I won't name who the translator is since it's very much in copyright and I'm very naughty to read it out loud and then post it on the internet, but I'm taking the gamble that this is the obscure part of the internet and no one will know, and who will care about me doing my halting, mispronounced reading, stuttering and stumbling over the words. Hopefully that will semi protect me until the computers catch up, and then I'm completely doomed. So yes, the first canto, it reads very galloping along. It was a good hunk of reading there. I'll have to see exactly how long it took to do a canto. I don't know if other than weekends I would be reading a full canto out loud all at once, especially since I also want to kind of finish off Captain Blood at the same time. Enjoyed it. Definitely this is, we quickly get dropped in the action. We find out that Angelica is a pagan princess that both Orlando and Ronaldo, cousins, both want her, and come to such kind of friction over this that the king of Charlemagne actually ends up giving it to a different fellow. But unfortunately, that different fellow, his outpost gets overrun, and Angelica, being someone who is being held captive and not being particularly consensual, takes off on horseback to get away and hopefully restored herself to her royal abode, as they put it in this section. So yeah, she takes off, and then what we have is a fairly comedic thing of she comes upon one guy who's on foot, who spots her, who kind of recognizes her and starts chasing her on foot. She comes up to a water bank, and there's another guy who's trying to fish his helmet out of the water where he's dropped it. And he also recognizes her, and it's like, oh boy, I'm gonna grab me a median. So he goes after her, at which point the first knight comes on, and they do battle until one knight says to the other one, it's like, oh, we're battling, but while we're doing this, she's getting away, let's team up. So they team up to chase down this poor woman, and they do, but they come to a fork in the road, so they go off on different adventures, which is forking, and we get lots of forking of the stories. We have the two knight stories, we have Angelica's story, we go back to Angelica's story where she bumps into another fellow who is weeping and moaning and crying. She's like hiding, and he's just wailing and crying, and it's definitely seems to be, he's the knight of grief, I think is what the poem says. And you kind of roll your eyes at it. I think you're meant to definitely roll your eyes at it. And Angelica actually recognizes the guy. He is a Saracen king, Scarpante, and he actually does love her, and she doesn't give a shit about him. But she goes, oh, I can use this guy. Completely. I'll put him to my thing. And so she comes up to him, and he's like, oh God, I thought you were lost. I thought you'd been horrible. You're probably deflowered and all that, because, the virgin thing, because that's what his main thing is. Like, she's been taken, and this virgin flower has been pulled from the thing, and obviously has been deflowered, her most priceless treasure. Blah. And no, she protests, no, I have. And the narrative seems to make fun of the fact that she makes this thing, and that because this guy's so besotted with her, he actually believes her. That seems to be the main thing. You definitely get the attitude of this thing. What does he say? Thus he believes her, for, as men all do, he gives assent to what he hopes is true. Then he makes a dick joke about how he thinks that the Cavalier mishandled thus his lance. He didn't fuck her. That he goes like, but I'm not going to do that. So I will pluck the early morning rose forthwith, lest by dilly-dallying, the moment of its perfect freshness lose. So, you know, though, you know, in spite of her reluctance, woman knows, though she shed tears at her deflowering, thus no repulse or coyness will prevent the prompt embodiment of my intent. So, yeah, the second he finds out, oh, you're still virgin? Oh, great. Well, then I'm going to deflower you immediately because, you know, that's the way I'm going to lay claim to you and take your treasure, which is, you know, oh, sweet love, I guess. But he's interrupted in this by yet another knight, a knight in white that comes, and they joust and wax. I thought it actually had killed Scarpante, but apparently it killed his horse, and his horse expires on top of him, and he finally does, I think through Angelica, gets levered out, and he's definitely got kind of like hurt male pride about it. And then it gets worse because an attendant comes along and says, "Oh, did you see a knight in white?" And said, "Yep." And who's that? And who was that? And it's like, that was a woman. That was a the unknown. That was a woman. You know, after Angelica had already kind of, you know, said like, "Oh, it's because your horse was too old is why he left the field without, you know, meeting you again." So, and it turns out it is, she's beautiful as she is brave. And that was Bradamante, beautiful as she was brave. So that's who that was. That's hilarious. So they, you know, and what the hell else? Yes. So they go running through, and oh, they find the horse. This horse coming towards them, Biardo, who Angelica recognizes as a horse that she fed by hand. But yeah, but you know, who kicks, he, you know, he quick as lightning up and answers when, like, you know, Scarpante tries to lay hands. The horse whacks him, but is tame and docile near Angelica. We always seem to be getting this kind of undercurrent of like undermining all these massively macho guys and their love for this woman who does not give a fuck about any of them. Yeah. Biardo still remembers her, for often she would feed him from her hand when in Albraca for Count Aemon's son. Great love she had, while he for her had none. So when she had great love for Count Aemon's son, she had, while he didn't have any love for her. And indeed, when they find Biardo, Scarpante is able to get on top of him, at which point Duke Aemon's son comes upon them, which is Ronaldo, and we find out that she once loved him and he abhorred her worse than death. Now their fates are in reverse, and they're in reverse because there were two fountains, one that would make people love, which is what Ronaldo drank, so that, and the second where all loves and joy and bliss are rendered immune, and cold as ice as they are. Ronaldo tasted one, and love prostrates him, and Angelica the other, and she hates him. So this clash again, and she's like, "Oh God, it's Ronaldo. I fucking hate his guts. Get us out of here," he says to Scarpante, who is still kind of butthurt over the whole male pride. It's like, "Oh, you don't think I can defend against this guy? I can defend him. I did lots of things. I went against this whole army naked." And so, you know, on this theme, what of the night when I alone and nude King Agrian and all the field withstood? And she does not answer, nor knows what to do. Ronaldo is approaching, and much too close. Already he makes threatening gestures to the Tartar king, on who Bardado goes, as he can see. The angelic damsel who he has set his heart ablaze, he also knows. But what between these two proud knights occurred, in the ensuing canto will be heard. So, oh, we gotta stop there, folks. So I love the kind of the light tone, the sarcasm, the undercutting of stuff, the usual kind of chivalric things of, well, I just, you can rape women and make them yours, is unfortunately, that is definitely authentic to the time period of authentic theme of a lot of chivalric tales. But very much I can see why this might get included in in Don Quixote, which yeah, is good. So yeah, I will continue on with Canto number 2, possibly later today if I can, because I need to catch up so that I can do this in time, slightly in time with Tom. And hopefully if I record my impressions after I've read it, then I'll then get more out of Tom's impressions, and Tom's much more all his knowledge and stuff that he'll bring to it, which I, of course, have none. All right, that is all I have for now. I've been Jay. More videos later.